We say it every time. Make sure you click the bell or you won't get notified, because everything is going into the silly season. Of course, because Mars is in Gemini, it's like a Mercury bloody retrograde already. So you just don't know with me, especially because my Jupiter in media is in Sagittarius. You know, it's in Gemini. So sorry. How are we all doing? Are we all in the thick of it? Are we all like, you know, a lot of energy coming through, a lot of, how could I say it? Deep reflection. I went down the rabbit hole with Giggle and I said to her, at some point, we really need to go live, you and I. And that's with any of you that we have those candid conversations with. It's always, you know, one of those, it's almost like you're channeling the collective consciousness. You're looking at perspectives. How you doing? Love the makeup this morning. Yeah, I got the wall paint. I got the wall paint on. I got the Mars paint on, you know. Thanks, Spen. So we're going to go down the rabbit hole. Okay. A lot of the transits coming up between now and 2023, I will be covering via the website. So go and jump on. It's going to be free of charge. I'm getting the calendar ready first. And yes, it will be covering your twin flame path. We'll have education content in 2023. Lots of transitions, lots of changes we spiritually are going through. Some of you may be feeling this pending Jupiter in Aries, which I do have a post on the website that covers your zodiac sign. Otherwise, feel free to book a private reading and I can go into your chart and see where it is, and we can do the channeled messages, tarot, astrology, you name it, I cover it. We can also look at your chakras of where the blockages are on your path. So that's me, okay? We're going to be pulling the cards on screen because I'm unorganized, even though psychically I do have some downloads for you guys. Definitely this morning I was talking about the fact that some of these signs and synchronicities, we're getting there in double digits, but they're kind of combining. So it can be, one example is 7-5-5-5. Another one was this morning, it was 7-4-4-4. So it's giving you a multiple message, in my opinion. This is what I'm saying spiritually. It's whatever the first digit is, that second one is giving an example of how that is playing out for you. So if you're saying the signs and synchronicities, listen to it, don't ignore it, and really trust your instincts at this point in time. You could feel as though spiritually on your twin flame path and your own personal spiritual ascension journey that you have something nagging and calling at you, but you could be psychologically going down the rabbit hole. And it's almost like I did say this from August. It was like we were in preparation mode, unbeknownst to us, that we were gearing up ready for brand new chapters, and some of the things that you're actually doing in your life are in preparation for that. On the 20th, we do have Jupiter moving into Aries, which, like I said, I've already got the blog post there. And Chiron in Aries, the wounded healer, moves direct on the 23rd. So Christmas is going to be very interesting. The members are going to be getting the volume 4 for masculine, feminine, and karmic. And I'll try and pull it forward a little bit. You know, Giggle was really quite peeved at me for the date. I said I was providing it to the members, which is usually you're usually getting it 7 days before. So I may make it a little bit earlier. But what that last edition of this month covers is what's going on between now and New Year's Eve. I think that's everyone's question, especially in their twin flame path. Am I going to hear from my twin? So I did make them a little bit longer, and I have recorded, so you get them a week ahead of time. Plus, during the silly season, if you feel quite lonely and you're working through triggers, the Members Hub is a beautiful location that you actually can find that sense of community, and you can share whatever download you're having, and you've got somebody to talk to and you're not alone. So if that's something that you're looking for and you're a twin flame, come through. They're beautiful members. We've got Discord connected to the top level as well. You don't have to use it, but it's an added bonus that if you want to talk to members that are, you know, in the twin flame hub, you can come through and have a chat. So let's get cards. What's the other thing? Things are going to make you feel as though you have to move forward and you will be unable to avoid your wounds. And that's going to be, if you haven't, you know, that was one thing Giggle and I had talked about, and different people on YouTube have discussed, is the fact that spiritually speaking at the moment, some wounds can be coming up. Although Jupiter is in Pisces, At the moment, you still, because it does move quite quick, you're going to be picking up on that Aries energy nevertheless. So it's going to be giving you 2 frequencies, but you could be reverting back to that Pisces note and really checking into your value systems, your belief systems, the 5D of the twin flame path, your manifestation of things. And if you are tapping into that Neptunian energy, you're actually sabotaging yourself. So you may need to clear your third eye. You may need to move away from that frequency, because what you're actually doing is delaying, pushing it into stagnation, and effectively getting caught in the 4D. So be careful what you're thinking about. Be careful who you're tuning into, because it directly can get you unhinged. Now, base chakra was coming up. For unbeknownst to me, I was like, wow, especially channeling the last week of the month energy. There was a lot of emotion coming through with divine masculine, but there also was this frequency that everyone was feeling a little bit unhinged. So we do, in the collective energy, the joint energy at the moment, have the base chakra, and it can be to do with family and home. We're going to have Mercury going retrograde. It will be in shadow from about the 12th. You really want to get your ducks in a row before that. And that's going to keep you, keep your schedule open, as in don't overblock your schedule out. I'll be there with bells on. Yeah, I'd pretty much keep it neutral, which is going to be hard because we are moving to the silly season. So many of you are going to be pulled in multiple directions, even though you'd probably like to be in hermit mode right about now. Okay, so tell me what's been happening. Sent also, oh, thanks, sweet. I feel like I'm becoming fully psychic, but my higher self is trying to take the wheel, but you got Aries in your chart. Yeah, well, it can be, because Mars in Gemini can be ego. Something will also flow. And I really think what we need to understand right now is, what was the word I used, Giggle? I don't think I've used it on YouTube. What's that movie? I'll try and find this Matthew McConaughey movie. It's like failure to launch, but it's sometimes launching too soon. What we need to do is maybe look at the bigger picture and then pull back and go, right, let me map this, and it will give me the most logical method to proceed forward in a very tactile approach. So I think personally that's the approach we're needing to take at this point in time. Otherwise, we're going to walk into things and bite off more than we can chew. Jupiter's like, go for gold, get it all. But it's also the first house placement. So inside of Divine Feminine's life, they're going to personally be questioning, okay, where's my fun at? Where's my courage at? Where's my personal confidence? Do I need to, level up and maybe get fit? Do I need to feel more, premature ejaculation? That's pretty much what I said. I'm trying to say it really quietly. Look, I'm really quite an open book. As many of you have followed me for a very long time, and I had a mother who was really out there, and I do believe that thanks, Mum, really appreciate it. I was a bit prudish when I was younger, and now I look at things, especially after you get to my age, you sort of do have a chain of very unfortunate events happen, and you're pretty open-minded and you're really nonchalant. All of us do it. And it's just like, just be open, just accept who you are. So launching too early, the word is on the screen. We may get there too quick, but be unprepared. So we could be more cautious at the moment, but as Jupiter moves into Aries, we're going to see more assertive females. I have seen some laws coming up in different countries. I know that I saw that with the astrology. There was things to do with in Indonesia, not being able to be intimate with a partner if you were, in the Aries energy, traveling, or it could have been Bali. Forgive me, I may be wrong. So things to do with masculine and feminine roles in society can come up, but you can embody that and look at it from a different perspective and shift things. Okay, so that's what I'll say. Let's pull the cards. Okay, so what is, that'll be right. The Rowan Caster's Mars. It's always on point, We are all adults, yes. Oh, you crack me up. Yes, it has been interesting. So animals could be playing up at the moment. I would be careful around them. They could be a little bit more aggressive. We definitely are going to see things in the media because Jupiter and Pisces can be to do with pets. So it can be pet bites because Mars is retrograde in Gemini. It could be shark attacks. Be aware until the 20th. It could linger on a few weeks after because things move quick. And then it's going to move into Aries, which hopefully, and there's always the highest octane and the lowest. Divine Masculine's astrology at the moment is sort of like, from a psychological point of view, they're looking at their actions, words, they're looking at their pastimes, they're looking at their life and their money, their eating habits. They're looking at their routine and what they like and what they don't like. If they're in conflict, especially Saturn, I was talking to Giggle about this morning, Saturn restricts, it limits, it teaches us something about a circumstance. Well, Saturn at the moment in Aquarius, that's groups. So, it could particularly be with Jupiter in Pisces and Saturn in Aquarius, is that it is showing divine masculine in their life. Belief systems inside those groups, but not necessarily feeling they can be their spiritual self, their vibrational self. And so it may be that they're having revelations with the directs that maybe the groups don't directly resonate with them. And it does become a bit more karmic as it goes direct because it means it's handing you the information in the PDF and you have to do something about it. So they're having large revelations at the moment. They may be using pacifiers to deal with the tension. But it's almost like when it does reach that pivotal point, those pacifiers no longer work because it's so in your face that you have to address it. I'm also seeing from Divine Feminine's astrology, you can be really reviewing the traditional and whether it does or doesn't resonate with you, because we're going to have so many placements in Capricorn. Capricorn's quite, grounded. It's more, even though it's in Pluto at the moment, which will be quite karmic next year because it's going to dip in between. Spiritually speaking, what you'll find is you may be looking at things quite traditional, okay? Again, is it something we can really talk about, Giggle, on here? I do have meetings with my moderators. So if you do hear me talk about Giggle, it's because she does a huge job along with other people on the channel. And those that do the moderation side of things, I tend to have meetings with them after. So if you want to be a moderator, put your back into it, give us a hand, and we can have private chats. I'm getting there. If you're sick of me, I understand. At times we may be early. I may jump on during this month before the 23rd. 23rd, as I mentioned, if you do read the chat at the very top and you jump back on this video, we have the PayPal link for those of you that don't want to pay the super chat through YouTube. You can. It doesn't bother me either way. Or you can use the PayPal link. And separately, I mentioned when my calendar is closed down for the silly season and then it becomes emergency booking. So the calendar is actually filling up. We have from now to the 23rd. And then Yildiz is away with the fairies. I'll be getting 2023 content done all month. I already started. Otherwise, Mercury retrograde, me and Mercury. Oh, God. Okay, so the ruin cast. Let's get into it. So you can flick back, you can have a look at the dates, and they're all there for you. Otherwise, I'll put a blog post up, right? Mars, let's show you the ruin cast. And yes, your content will still be here on YouTube. It just won't be live. It'll be premiere for the last week and the first week of January. So, Crow, Wolf. Oh, that was one thing I was saying. Libra, Mars. I did say pay attention to this Mars retrograde because the next year the nodes are shifting into Aries and Libra. Mars, Tuesday, red and air. It was so funny. I was going to put red lipstick on and I was like, yeah, Mars is a retrograde. Let's just leave it. We did just have the full moon in Gemini and I was like, be quiet, Yildiz, don't say anything. People are going to be shooting their mouth off and saying things they don't really mean, and we do need to be careful with that during Mars retrograde. We can be getting very aggressive. You might see people in the shops being stroppy. The moon, as of the 9th, where I'm at, is in the house of Cancer. So it's, again, listening to your instincts. Moderating your emotions, but I wouldn't say moderating, but sitting with it, sitting with you, the thought of family. You could be having a lot of subjects to do with family coming up at the moment. You may be looking at what would I say? Mother your own feelings. And so red actually in casinos is used because you will eat more, you will spend more. It's desire, it's passion. So there is psychology behind colors, and it's feeling grounded. It's like, I don't know if I feel grounded in the cats. But nevertheless, it is to do with this hunger and desire and passion. It's Mars energy. So at the moment, we have this in reverse. So could you have love? Somebody said it to me the other day. Can you lose your drive during a Mars retrograde? Yes, but more than likely it is because you're pouring it into something that's taking a lot of your energy. So you could lackluster when it comes to intimacy. You could go from wanting it completely. It's like a sloppy chakra, basically. It's overactive or underactive. When Mars is retrograde, things come at you very quickly. And so psychologically, because it's in the house of Gemini, a lot of you can be getting psychic downloads, or you could be very 3D at the moment and burnt out, really fuzzy in the head. Let's see what is coming up for this in reverse. Okay, in the mundane, victory, honor, justice, law, balance, self-sacrifice, self-righteousness or righteousness. Magical equilibrium, selflessness, spiritual purity. Reversed, paralysis, lack of commitment, and impotency. I just said it, right? In reverse, get your base chakra in alignment and sacral chakra. If you're feeling so exhausted, this area between the base chakra and the solar plexus, the three chakras, they're really exhausted. I would say use the filtration of it. You can eat the red food groups. If it's overactive, you're going to be aggressive, angry, projectile, in victim consciousness. You need to get that sorted so that you're going to find by the 20th you'll probably feel better. Don't rush though. Give it 3 days. I wouldn't jump in where angels fear to tread, like Ben was saying, wanting to get everything sorted, but then biting off more than you can chew. It's a bad investment. It's like slow down and look at it like a map. Although Aries and Chiron will go direct after, in your twin flame path, your chakras are being triggered. So you could feel fight and flight if you get to the point you're like, okay, they're there, I'm here. What would the housing situation would be? Is there a family-related dynamic? Oh, gee, Christmas is coming. So we're working through that. You'll know when it is sluggish because you'll be very tired. Could it be a great time for a wellness check? 100%. Chiron in Aries is retrograde. So eating healthy, drinking a lot more fluid. Sluggish chakras, those three chakras at the base. So red, yellow, orange food groups, eat if you're sluggish. If you're having unhealthy boundaries, eat the yellow. If you're aggressive, reduce those food groups. Do you understand what I'm saying? Otherwise, book a coaching session and we can cover whatever you want to. So for the masculines, they may be looking at their diet. They could be really, really fatigued, needing to get their energy up. But both parties here in the mix are feeling unstable, but it could be all of the energy outside of you, not necessarily you. Do you get what I'm saying? So could it be happening to you? Yes, but it could be you are the observing party of a chain of very unfortunate events around you, and you're like, wow, but you're not enabling. So you don't quite know what to commit to. Both parties are like, they could potentially have foundation-related issues going on. And so both of you are thinking you're not interested in each other. Really, it's a 3D circumstance that's going on, and there's a bit of PTSD. Paralysis, lack of commitment, and impotency. It calls upon us to be honourable, okay, because it's not all hanky-panky. It's the physical, emotional relationship. Even though that with the Mars energy, you know, it's not to say it's not great, but, you know, we do need food, water, and shelter also. Courageous and loyal on whatever cause we are involved in, even if it involves a degree of self-sacrifice. Base chakra, family. Don't we love it? Such qualities are found by connecting to our inner moral core, developing the backbone necessary to commit ourselves completely. Reverse suggests impotency and paralysis caused by a lack of commitment. Well, when we spread ourselves like butter, it could be a problem. The other channel message I was getting, like I said, Saturn restricts. They're getting the PDF at the moment. Divine Masculine is getting the PDF basically of, oh my gosh, this is my role. This is what I have to do. And then looking at it and going, do I really resonate with that? And I think Mercury retrograde is going to help that polarity to really go through that vault and go, oh, I don't really like that. No matter how much enthusiasm you might have, in principle, a failure to take action will weaken you. So if there is something on your side of the fence, because Jupiter will move into Aries, you have how many days? We are at the 9th. You have till the 20th. If you haven't worked out something on your side of the fence, which I do feel at the moment, that is the thing that my guides are showing me, masculine and feminine on both sides of the fence, wherever Aries is in your chart, that needs focus, okay? Anything Pisces and Aries, because it's going to be coming up. Yes, Capricorn as well. There is a subject matter in your life that is needing to be tweaked a little bit or changed or even spiritually resolved. Once you can pour that energy into it, you're going to see forward movement. Okay, power. We want our balance and power. Both parties, there's a lot of energy here. It's funny because sometimes when you don't see each other, what you'll find is you'll feel really uncharged. Have you ever noticed that? You go into separation and you start getting very depleted and exhausted. You come back and you're supercharged. You're like, I don't know why it happens, but it's probably because you are the flames. You're the twin flames, so it's energy. Okay, are we dealing with karmic situations from the past? Yes, I do feel so. As we do move into 2023, yes, there could be. But it's also, we could be saying, okay, where do we plant those seeds? When are the blessings coming? And I do think the blessings from the past are coming, but there is an alteration of a situation while that is happening. Try to not tell yourself those self-fulfilling prophecies because there's guilt relating to failure here, and I think it's in both parties' energy. You may feel as though maybe you're not seeing something completely clear. I've got Aries and Chiron. Yeah, me too. We should be used to that giggle. You know, Pisces, Sun, Aries, rising. Yeah, so it's personal for you. It's what are you going to do? Ben, wear loose clothing. Best advice. It makes you gain weight. First house. Oh, and don't bite off more than you can chew, love. Honest. Okay, so from a communication point of view, be careful. You know, and I did say the last week, it was like there were aspects where we might say something we don't want to say. We could be a little bit more blunt and snappy. It particularly could be subjects relating to, how can I explain it? Subjects relating to where we're going, how we're dealing with things. There's communication coming in. And some of you, you know, especially when we're going down the rabbit hole of Mercury retrograde, the first thing Divine Feminines are thinking is, this is a bad time to meet with my twin. What a load of hogwash. No, it's not. It's Mercury. It's just Mercury. It's good to talk, okay? You need to talk. Isn't it what you wanted? You wanted to talk. So talk. Go down that rabbit hole. Be honest and earnest, but try to not be too fixed. That would be my best advice to you. Mercury retrograde is a large opportunity to revisit the past, to revisit what you were doing, how you thought about things, even if it's happening in your own personal life. Now, that's not coming till the 29th, but it will be in shadow by the 12th. Communication is coming. So what would that look like? Some of you are thinking this person's failed because there's been no communication. This isn't moving. Nothing's happening. But spiritually, you're questioning your faith. You're questioning your faith. Even if your guides are coming through, your guides are coming through and smashing the numbers at you, and you're still not listening because you are in the 3D. If they're showing you the 1-400 and they're showing you double digits, or they're showing you animal totems, you need to just say, yes, I agree. But you need to believe that inside yourself. Hi, Angela. How are you, doll? You need to believe that inside yourself because it's almost like you don't alchemize that manifestation until you spiritually can have that connection to source and connection to self of that inner knowing without second guessing yourself, because the trauma is going to do that, but you and your higher consciousness is not. It's going to go, stop that talk. It's rubbish. Spiritually, there is spiritual connection. Some of you are thinking, well, I haven't got my ice cream, so therefore it's a waste of time. It's shut. First wave is it's all to do with breaking down the paradigms of the connection, of traditional connections, of because I've done something good, well, then why didn't I get my reward? It's like you are getting your reward. You're not seeing it. You're not seeing what the reward is. You're not getting the PDF. It doesn't mean that if somebody doesn't do something you don't like, that they don't love you. It means they're having a situation going on, and that is not personal. That's their drama. Okay. So there could be a time where you're actually reflecting upon it. It's like, look, and trust me, I was saying this morning, I don't even know how I'm standing here today with some of the things that happened in my path that, you know, most human beings would go, the first instant would have really totaled them. I'm still here today. Okay, so if I'm still here, you know, lots of different things with various people in my life, cheating, betrayals, threats against me, nervous breakdowns, I'm still here. So if I can do it, you can do it. I'm not special. But who I am today has been the cause and effect of the wounds, and me getting to that space, and you can do that too. So please trust the process. So it could be a circumstance where you're like, okay, do I need to sit on it? Sometimes we do beat ourselves up too much, and we have to understand a relationship is a two-sided transaction. So because Divine Feminine has been in the initial stage, the chaser, we go back into that habit and say, but I need to do something. But who said you were the problem? Does that make sense? Who said you were the problem? I remember having this negotiation and those conversations with God. It was like, what do I need to do? Did I miss something? Is there a wound under here? Do I need to look for it? And it's like, who said, you know, when we hear divine timing, how about we revert it to what if there's something going on their side of the fence and it's really complex, something that we've gone through before? Are we okay with that? Does it mean that we love that person? Of course it means we love that person. That there's a human being we do. Do we need to get dirty at them because they're trying to learn a spiritual lesson, or they feel from a spiritual point of view that they have to do something? It doesn't mean it's forever. I'm telling you, the transits aren't going to let it be, even if we think we have to. So there is a sitting on it. It's like a sitting duck. It's like, okay, there's not really a solution. Usually when there's not a solution, honest to gospel, as soon as you go, I have to look at this, there's no solution, you psychologically then come to this place where you go, well, it's done then, isn't it? And then bang, within 20 minutes, a tower can happen, and a tower doesn't have to be bad. It can actually be, you know, it naturally can come about where then the debris has cleared a road open for you and a solution is given to you because you've acknowledged that the way you were doing something or the way you were dealing with it is not working anymore. And so move into that acceptance. And what it does is by you laying down your swords for a minute, universe can actually provide you with some physical solutions for your problem at this point in time. And it would literally, for me, we're always manifesting. And what do we manifest? Usually it's all the crappy things. What if they do this? What if they do that? You know, if you're currently doing that right now, you're setting yourself up for disaster, dolls. I manifested for 25 odd, maybe 30 years, all the shitty things. What if I lose a job? I don't think I ever really lost a job. Oh, no, I've never lost it. I quit one job in my whole life. But when we're fearing something, cause and effect is we attract it, but it's because we need to face that demon. And once we face it, we're like, well, that shit happened already, so what do I do now? Okay, there is. Okay. You're being strict with your heart. I'm telling you. This is heart chakra. You're being strict with your heart. Your heart doesn't care what your head says. They're two different things. They're two different, well, could we call it organs, Google? We could, couldn't we? Yeah. Head and heart. Head and heart, eh? Your head says one thing, your heart goes, this would be nice. I'm hearing warning. Tower can be something that you choose to. I have to move into acceptance of this because I can't do it anymore. Whatever that be. And that could be the person turning up at 3 o'clock in the morning or you answering that phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning. Respond back in the morning. Like 8, 7, not 1 a.m. You know, respond back. And then what they do, let go of the attachment and see what happens. And you're teaching people how to treat you. I think I keep getting put in the naughty corner. Oh, look, I put myself in the naughty corner. It's the best thing I ever did. It was like, okay, I have these patterns going on. I need to sort me out. I am the common denominator. How do I work this out? I don't want to have to go through this again. So I put myself in the hermit mode for 12 months. And anytime I wanted to seek outside myself, call a friend. Ever noticed that during Mercury retrograde? I think it was in 2017, I was saying to the members and my followers, don't ever go to that phone number in your phone, and it could be your mother, and she's going to tell you something, right? She's going to tell you, you're a bloody idiot. You know, because what you're seeking is the confirmation, but then you go back to doing something again. So it's almost like any time I would have a trigger and I'd go for that dial, I'd be like, you sit with this right now. And so if I was sad, I would cry and I would listen to myself and I go, okay, this is how I'm feeling, and that's okay. And I wouldn't be angry at myself. Do you get what I'm saying? So sometimes it's you choosing to go, okay, let me just take all my security away from every human being. And Jupiter in Aries is going to make you do that. No longer being able to hide behind somebody. That's frightening. When you can live on your own and love your world and be independent and know what you need, hopes, dreams, aspirations, not just, the one fixation. And you can go to that twin flame connection like an equal individual soul, that you're in the connection, but not just the connection, you're ready. And so the reason why the separation happens is to create that inside yourself. See, this is what happens when we don't put 11 days for the twin flames. And I was like, just leave it open. Yeah, I'm really surprised that YouTube has pornography, because apparently we're so censored. Put user in block. Bye. Anyway, we're too expensive here. Sorry, honey, you can't afford us. Okay, so recover. Know your worth. Be the sitting duck. Know that it is going to be okay. Trust yourself. Trust your worth. Right? Trust yourself and know that this is going to work out for the best. I hope to God I didn't block Ben. Giggle, you can do it. Now, okay. Now, there could be a divorce or something to that degree going on. It could be that something is shifting about. I was clicking it so many times that I was like, I properly blocked Ben. I would unblock you again. Don't stress. I'm not doing it on purpose. Okay. So both of you, even though there could be foundation issues and your family's needing you and everyone's wanting it, right? You know what's going to happen near the outcome? Both of you are going to have to jump in the deep end. I'll give you an example. You're married, they're married. And you're like, when they put the green flag out there, I'll go then. But you're missing the point. You need to look at the connection in and go, because it's not about your twin. Are you happy with the current connection? If you're not, your twin's actually not the problem. Your twin suddenly could become single. And guess what? You still have to resolve your energy of your current connection. And just because your twin's single, it does not mean there's not healing that you will need to do in relation to your part inside your given relationship that you're living right now. Because twins not the solution and they're not the problem. They're sharing an energy on your journey. Because we call twin flame path ascension is no choice. Your choices from there and the people you meet are all divinely guided. But what you do with that, with your newfound truth each time, so it's kind of a hard pickle. So because Jupiter's moving into Aries, it's what are you going to do about your future? Are you bored with your life? What are you going to do? Where are you going to find your zest and passion? Jupiter and Aries. Finding it you. Opportunities come to you in various areas of your chart. But there's going to have to be the courage to move forward in this. But sometimes it's almost like we're like, if I was to say to you, your twin's going to turn up tomorrow, are you ready? How many of you right now are ready? You're a dag. That's another thing, getting that paperwork done. We've got the contractual section that I can advise you legally. But there can be some contracts that you're currently dealing with. You may want somebody to help you. You know, it could be there, but you could be finding the power inside your life to actually resolve these things. But it's also honoring the connection of what it was at the time, because it has taught you something. You know, I thought about that years ago. I was like, throw a party. I've had different style connections. And then you look at it and you go, look, grace it with what it was right then. But then grace your entry back into society and your new life is your new life, and be excited about that. So there's going to be a judgment. Okay, you're trying to be balanced. You're looking at it and going, okay, I'm having the courage. I'm going to try to be balanced. Left or right for masculine? Let's see what's going on their side. Is it right or left? I should have some drums. You pick your poison. I've got the cards ready for the element. Oh, that's another thing. If you guys do join the members, we have, oops, wrong card. Shouldn't have picked that one up. We have element reads for the masculine and the feminine. So, one of them is going to be premiere. At the end of the month, Divine Masculine is premiere. I am but feel indifferent and it feels great. We're supposed to be. Like I said, pre-union energy usually is quite detached and you're nonchalant. You're like, yeah. You're like, yeah. It's almost like you've healed. You're a human being again. You're like, oh, maybe it wasn't real. Maybe I was tripping out. And then I look back, I was like, yeah, no, I've been psychic since I was a kid. That thing was real, okay? That psychic attacks, and I was very focused on my own crap. That interruption through that telephone line psychically was not hot. That was disgusting. I think the most devastating thing was, if I feel like this for the rest of my life, how am I going to ever have a relationship? Ever. Felt like I was going through chemo shit. It's disgusting. It's a bit like when somebody says to you, oh, you're psychic. It's such a blessing. No. You got to learn how to use it. It ain't going away. You know, driving Miss Daisy, who's transcended over, going, hi, girl, how you doing? I need to have a chat with you. I feel he ran again. It's joint energy. It's joint energy. If one is running, the other is running internally. The mirror. Okay, so left or right? Do we actually choose, or we still haven't chosen? Always do the mirror work. And there are, like I said, through this read, it's actually saying home, family, us getting a footing sorted. There's something that each party is deciding or dealing with in a circumstance so that that movement can move forward. Could it be you're looking after a parent? Could it be that you're transitioning home? Could it be you're getting your career and your money on track? Something is calling you to address it. Once that is in harmony, or you're in detachment of what that previous energy was, Mercury is going to show you, then it's alignment for that. Okay, and first wave is get ready, because you're ready to get into communication, movement, and union. It don't mean that if you thought your separation was hard, I am so going to have to call my beautiful spiritual friend Elizabeth. I have coached her. She does follow the channel. Elizabeth, if you're watching, give me a shout out. Not shout me out. I really don't need that. Give me a buzz. We need to do that pretty cash. She's in her union. One of the biggest things with union, if you thought separation was hard, try and be woke and go back into a connection without repeating your crappy habits. And you're going to have some triggers, so it can be quite challenging. And Angela has gone through it again. Angela is, she's seeing that perspective now. And Elizabeth and I, we were like, I remember Twin caught me in the bedroom and I was praying to Gaia. I was like, and I'm like doing breathing. And I was literally, I'd walked myself into the bedroom. I closed the door and I was in the very corner. It's like, you know, your psychic portal is through your back and your feet, by the way. So never put your feet to a door, to an open window. So I had placed my back to the wall and I was like, and he walked in and he's like, what's up? And I went, I'm having a fucking panic attack. Because the pattern was there. And I was like, you are not doing that. You are not going to be a bitch. Okay. And I was like, oh my God. Because you're aware, old things can happen. The person's relating it to differently, but the memory system's there. And you're like, oh, that is challenging. So Elizabeth and Angela, we probably should have a chat and we can talk about that dynamic, and feel free to message in the community tab in the chat and tell me an example you had going into that connection and going, I thought bloody separation was bad. This is hard. So do you need help going into it? Yes. And a lot of YouTubers that are twin flames don't cover the joint connection, which I cover this from a collective energy point of view. Doesn't matter where you're in communication, because you're always in communication in the 5D, 4D, 3D. Okay? You're just not listening. Same thing applies to those of us in union. So we go through triggers. At the moment, we've got things going on with family, friends, home, maybe wanting a holiday. Left or right? Right, okay. I knew it. Okay, so divine masculines. Why? Because the star card's coming up for divine feminine. And I was like, they've got the same idea here. They're not stupid. They're dealing with things differently, and never judge how that's going. It's all divinely guided, and trust me, lessons are learned. And it's not people aren't woke. People are moving through a spiritual perspective. Remember, the first waivers are there to break down the paradigm of relationships. So what does that look like? This is my role in society. No, it's not. So that's tough. I mean, it was hard enough for us, and we break cycles with our friends, with our jobs, and you get very comfortable with that. And then when people project at you, you're like, that's a you, that's not a me. So it doesn't, it's like you get to the sticks and stones break your bones, but names will never hurt you. It's because you know it's a projection. And so you're not even angry at that person anymore. You're like, you're actually empathizing with them because they don't know that they're actually attacking you because they're so bloody angry at themselves. You're like, wow, that's really interesting you're doing that. And you're just not going to get trigger dolls, because you're going to be able to see a wound and be like that psychological therapist, so that you're not going to personalize things. So masculines are looking at a judgment here. They could be looking at contracts. They may be looking at divorces, what I'm saying. They could be looking at their workplace contracts, but they're very sharp-minded at the moment, which makes sense because Mars is in Gemini, which is intellect, okay? So they're thinking a lot. They could be to the point where they are, they're in the king energy. I'm down for that. They're thinking smart. So thinking smart might not come through the way you're used to them. It may not come through where it's gun-ho. It may not come through with, repeating those old, it's different. So you guys might be a bit triggered because you don't quite know how to react to that. Because they're actually doing things quite traditional at the moment, methodical. I need to focus on this. Some of these karmic patterns, they don't have to be at this point very bad. They actually are closing it permanently. But because of that, it's like they stay a little bit longer. But that's because it's going to be closed permanently. It's reaching that acceptance, spiritual healing. It's facing a wound that maybe they had avoided for many, many years because it's Pisces. So for them, they know that they will have peace in their soul by addressing it in this fashion, because it's helping them look at it from that perspective. They know how this is going to go. They know it's going to end. But ultimately, in their mind, it's permission-based. Does that make sense? Are they concerned about money? Are Are they concerned that people have manipulated them? Yes, but it's not, they're not a victim. Do you get what I'm saying? They're not looking at themselves as victims. They're in awareness of this, but this is healing a separate wound that they had with the previous person. So this isn't even about the karmic. This is about a previous situation and reaching soul closure. They do in their heart think about you. There is that connection to you. It's got nothing to do with it. They do want to work with you, but they don't want to base it just on that. They don't want to base it just on intimacy. They want, they know that they're cheating themselves out of happiness, that things and patterns came about, but from a karmic point of view, they feel they have to look at this point and end it correctly so it never comes back. Okay? Divine Feminines, you are getting your star card. You're wondering about it though. You're like, okay, how do I make my dreams come true? Like I said, relationships are a two-sided transaction. Who said you're the problem? If there's a mirror energy coming up, you'll know, or you may need to book a reading, okay, to see where that links to you with the joint energy. Okay, Justice. You're thinking all that was fair was in the past. Maybe you were being too fair. Maybe you were being too balanced. But ultimately, spiritually, your heart, you know there's a spiritual connection here. If you are feeling the energy going up and down, you know in your heart of heart, away from your wound, this person does care about you, and that a separation from that situation is coming. And it doesn't mean that just because they're not there, they don't, okay? Foundation. There's something in your foundation at the moment that's unstable. I also feel within the joint connection, you're thinking, yes, okay, I can't go back to those old patterns because it's not really giving me that forward momentum. You know that this can go various ways. And you also know, and this is something we all need to get, anybody can hurt you. So when it comes to a head and heart decision, you better choose what's really true to you. Because you can pick a soulmate, you can pick a karmic, you can pick your twin, right? Anybody can hurt you. But what you do with your energy, it's an experience, it's a ride you got on. You can take your power away. You can take it, you can end it. And you can then say, when it comes correct, and it's not going to turn up perfect, believe you me. It's not going to turn up perfect. But if you dance that dance and you allow that, some of you are looking at your options. Some of you want to be the fantasy energy. You want to be, what would I say? How could I explain it? You want to be the sexiest thing. You want to be the person that their heart desires the most on the planet. I remember my uncle saying something to my cousin years ago, and this was when I was about 12. She's slightly older than me. And I was at his house, and she to me, she was a very pretty girl. And he was an Aries, you know, straight to the point, loving to bits. I had a very candid conversation with him about 6 months ago and said to him, he's humbled in his age, hasn't he? Because he asked me how my twin was. And I said, oh, he's like you were in your younger years. And he was like, and so he said to my cousin, he goes, you're not the most beautiful girl in the world. You do realise that. And he goes, I'm not saying you're not beautiful, but don't get into that reality that you have to be the best in the world, because we're all beautiful in our own way. And so particularly we can feel like we need to be something for somebody, but what do you need to be for you? If suddenly you have this frequency where you're feeling that if you address your wounds relating to body image, well, that's healing inside of you, and then that lie can't be told to yourself mentally. So it's not about proving to somebody. I know that I used my wound at a point, and I said, by the time I reached 40, I can't believe I'm bloody 47. I really can't. Giggle, we're going Botox, girl. I'm coming to America. You can sort me out, sister. When I said to myself, when I reach 40, I'm going to get fit. And I think I dropped about 4 dress sizes, and I was pounding that pavement. I used my wound and I turned it into a goal. Okay. That's usually how I go. I reach this point where it reaches dominant failure, and then it's like, okay, now climb out of that coffin and do something about it. So wherever that is for you, whatever you're avoiding, go and address that, and then it never defines you. And then if you're telling yourself that story inside your twin flame path, because you've got something to do with your dream coming up. Some of you, I do think you're feeling they will have to have a tower moment for this to be. And that could be a reality. That could be physically, okay, they'd need to have a divorce, or they'd need to be single, or they'd need to deal with a wound in order for that dream to come true. But it's not saying that it's not going to. This is right here at your door. Right here at your door. Okay? You really want to see, especially if you haven't seen what videos are up on Premiere for the Twin Flame Path, go and read the titles, okay? Because the December last edition, some of you might want to jump in the members and go see it. It's going to be open a week before that premiere date. So if you want to see it ahead of time, jump in and grab it. It's juicy, okay? And Giggle was like, tell me. And I went, nah, not telling you. Nope, not telling you. Let's read some of the chats. I totally get there, Chris, but yeah, I think sometimes when we do accept, look, the thing is, you can't do the other person's work. You're not supposed to. That actually stagnates the journey, and Chris actually doesn't do that. Yeah, depending on the Chris we're talking about, big casino. I don't know on your side, Chris. I can't speak for you. But spiritually, I don't think in general we do. We may believe we have to be a particular role. We may have empathy due to a circumstance. What's an example? You might have gone through a divorce, and there could have been some situations between you, the baby's mother, the baby's father, and the kids. And so therefore you kind of look in and go, oh, I empathize and understand it's going to take a bit. So you might have gone through a separation. You might have gone through a similar situation. And then you're looking in at them and you're empathizing because you've been there yourself, and maybe it took you 10 years, right? And then meanwhile, you're looking into that situation, you're going, it's going to take them 10 years, and maybe they'll never leave, because unless I had to, I probably wasn't going to, even though I knew it was going to break down. So now you're viewing the old story of your life inside your twin flame path. You become disillusioned and you feel, well, maybe I just have to keep giving in and accept what I get. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. That's not what it's trying to show you. It's trying to show you that you did learn as well. You did reach that threshold, and they too will. They will. But you can't get more if you don't expect more. I don't tell him he's not. But we also, when we act as the therapist, another thing you have to ask yourself is, am I the partner or am I the therapist? Because we can't be both. You don't. Why do you think in codes of ethics in the fields, they never get involved with the patient? Is because you can't be both. The same when you're caring for a parent, you can't be the carer and the child. You can't be both. You become one or the other, all right? So we need to pick the hat we're in. And sometimes when they're coming to you with their drama stories, we've done it too, to our friends, to our family, and then they stop talking to us because they're like, oh, I've heard this. Oh, that person still. You're still harping on about that. Well, why is that? The same thing happens when they are coming to you and they're complaining about the karmic and you're being their friend. You don't want to be their friend. You have friends, okay? There is a spiritual connection and a friendship, but you're not being, would you lie to your friend? Probably not. I mean, Giggle and I don't lie to each other. Yeah. We're to the point. We've got Scorpio on our chart. Angela and I don't. We can even go down the rabbit hole and have conflicting interests and go, you know what? I saw it this way, and I'm like, cool, okay, yeah, I saw it this way, and we still talk. Because that is truth. That's accepting. It's okay, well, maybe we misunderstood it. Be that inside your twin flame path. So when they're coming to you and they're in the witch's cauldron and they're like, the karmic's horrible, she takes my money, she does this, she does that, you're like, What are you going to do about that? After a while, you're basically their hermit zone, right? They're turning up and they're like, she did this and she did that. And you're thinking, shit, they ain't ever going to be telling the karmic that, because you're the dumping ground. Don't be the dumping ground. Don't be the dumping ground. Don't be the mama. Because then we have to say, hey, are we an ego? Are we being another person's parent because we don't want to parent ourselves? So you drop that role, right? And you go pour your energy into something productive. I was going to say prematurely. And then as they're addressing it, if they're like, I'm coming over, sorry, I'm out. What's going on? Oh, if they're then coming to come and say hello to you, that's different. It's like, hey, man, how are you? And it could be, hey, girl, how are you? But if it's constantly for the same thing, you better find yourself something else to do so that they can focus on their wound. Because what happens is they come to your place, they're dumping the trash, they're feeling super grounded, and they're going back into hell because they're getting a break, and you need to let them sit in the cauldron for a bit to go, this tastes like crap. I know. Let's get into the super chats, or I'm going to head till midnight, and I do have a lot of clients today, and I've got a lot. If you were to see how much recorded content I have, you would throw up. I would just say, okay, Mummy, why do I do it to myself? Because I've got Jupiter and Gemini. I can do it all. No, you can't. You stupid cow. Predictions for 2023 for the whole year per star sign. Monthly and mid-monthly videos starting hopefully as of January. That's 24 there. Premieres. I'm getting all the planets, the calendar for the transits, the updates done. So that's every bloody planet. Blog post online. This is all before the 23rd. Oh, plus I've got clients. So I've written it down. This is what I said, Ben. This is what I was meaning. Write what you need to write down. Make a plan of action. What comes highest priority, what can be done later. And make a plan. Then that Mars energy with Gemini, you're looking at the page. This is Mars and Gemini. What do I need to do? Have you guys tried to look at paperwork recently? You're like burn out psychologically, and you're like, I was doing tax paperwork. And I looked at the paperwork, and I'd been at it the whole day, and I literally couldn't see the letters. And I was like, read it again, Yildiz. Okay, we're back in it. That's how it is. So unless you have a plan and you pour that energy into it, you're going to be pixelated, honestly. You're going to get half your washing done. I mean, the other day, I needed to go to work and I forgot to do the washing. And that's, Yildiz never does that. That's not me. I'm like a Virgo with my cleaning. I mean, I'm a freak. Okay, so who we got first? Depends on what's going on in the marriage. Not really. If it's, if it's great, you're going to say to yourself, okay, why am I so fixated over here then? I'll just fixate my energy onto me and my life being great. I mean, if it's great, then I'm going to come in whinging to you. And if it's great, they're not going to be showing up at your house either. Don't lie to yourself. They're not going to turn up at your house. They're not even going to talk to you. And like I said, hurry up and get on the website because we're running out of time. Triggers are going to come with Jupiter moving direct and Aries and Chiron moving direct. I know it's Christmas, but I'm just saying, it's going to fill up fast and then you're going to get all triggered. Okay, sorry, giggle, I'm away with fairies. Marie, anything about your union? Is that the question? Why do I see paperwork involved? And you got to understand, sometimes I'm going to remember your energy, when you were here before. Other times it's like when my guides come through, it's reverting back to fresh energy. So if I repeat myself and you jump on a super chat and I ask you the same again, it's because I channel the energy when it's fresh and it goes back to zero after. Unless, of course, you start stalking me, your guides start coming in and give me a PDF. Paperwork here involved, Rory. Okay? There's something. Somebody in the mix could be selling something. This could be a physical asset. I don't know why I feel a change in job. I don't think that's your side, though. You can feel a little bit like, maybe a bit disillusioned, probably from August. You might be kind of picking up your energy at the moment where it's feeling better. You could have an inkling and a feeling about joining and seeing each other. I'm seeing a date. There could be a date that you guys may catch up. This feels like reminiscing. I can feel a lot of reminiscing coming through. I mean, this person is, I wouldn't say they're not a mature person, okay? The mature energy is there. It could be that this person is now quite, how could we put it, traditional. This is what my role is. I need to be kind. But don't think that that doesn't mean that that person isn't changing. I just get this. There's a date that they're showing me. And in this state, this could end up being a conversation piece, Marie. This could be a conversation piece where either you're going to meet on a certain date. They're showing me on a calendar. They're also making reference to the future. It feels like a nostalgic conversation. This conversation is going to give you some clarity, but I feel like it's like you may end up alone or together, but it feels more together in a conversation piece. You might go down the rabbit hole relating to the past, but with that, it's actually going somewhere. So it is going to serve a purpose. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Because they have to manipulate. It's like Mike. I want to be like Mike, Angela. So a karmic is going to resent you because what they've realized is they manipulate the situation to get into a relationship when meanwhile they were always aware that the love was with another person. Now that's just plain stupid. You know, it's like, I'll just go into that even though I know they're in love with somebody else and I will win them over. Our looks fade, really. And the heart wants what the heart wants. So, but we need to stop looking at other people as an enemy and look at ourselves as a perpetrator for a change. Sometimes it's like, well, if something's going to be taken from you, you're not really knowing your worth and you're insecure. What are you going to do? Eliminate every human being in your life? That person's going to get bored because they're going to feel confronted with having to be compartmentalized, having to prove themselves, and they get sick of it. But I do feel, Marie, for your twin, this person wants to have a conversation with you regarding the future. I don't know why I'm getting that there's movement. I don't know if they're in a karmic relationship, and if they are, there's a big change with this. There is a big change happening in this person's life. They're not acting right away though, love, okay? This isn't rush, rush, rush. This is very methodical. This is very logical. My bloody daughter, I know she's calling me. I'm going to find out the sex of my grandchild today. Yeah, I'm going to be a grandparent. Definitely going the Botox. It's got to be the hottest nana, right? I should say to her, because you're making me a grandparent, you need to pay for my Botox. I haven't heard anything about my twin in a year. What zodiac are they, Dale? Because their energy, they're very traditional. It feels as though, I don't know if it's congratulations or commiseration. She's like, you'll be my babysitter, won't you? I'm running my business, girl. All my astrology up in technology next year. Shit. Oh, and relationships, but I'm a bloody Libra Scorpio, so you know. What's new? Okay, what I'm getting is I do think this person was in a relationship, okay? I do think they have quite a traditional nature. I do feel, however, there is movement and changes happening, okay? They're very nostalgic of you at the moment. It's very emotional, okay? And I do see they're shifting at this point in time, but they do want to offer this. They do think about you. I think more it's going to be movement as we do move into the new year. But I feel that right now they're on the precipice of change, okay? But that tradition energy, they want to do that tradition with you, okay? Does that make sense, Dale? So they're thinking if you have the courage to be yourself, I should have the courage to be myself. Should we check the phone and see? Where is that bloody phone? Could you imagine? I've told her it's going to be a boy. I want to see if I'm right. I'm usually really good with predicting sexes of children. I'll be very devastated if on this occasion with my grandchild I'm incorrect. She's not telling me. She's just hammer dialing me. So we'll get these done and I'll call her. I'll give you an update soon. She sent me a picture of one of the ultrasounds. I said, I can see bits there. And she's going, no, it's not. So I uploaded it to Canva, enlarged it, put a circle around it. I said, that is a boy. And she's like, no, it's not. You said a girl. It could, I'm not sure. I definitely know she's having more kids. I don't think so. So, yeah, look, I do think something to the notion of maybe a separation. This person's really sad at the moment, Marie. This person's really missing you. She's going to be devastated if she's having a boy. She just wants a pretty girl. I don't think she realizes girls aren't easy. They're not easy. No kid's easy. Boys do that thing, you know. Girls are like, Ma. They end up being your sisters, and then they tell you what to wear, and then you realize your children have very poor taste in clothing. And you're like, you're telling me what to wear? Have you seen how you dress? She has confidence, that kid, I'm telling you. Okay, so we have... Yeah, but I do think something's changing in that. But I think let's be open, Marie, because I think there's a potential there's a shift in your twin flame path. Girl will be calm, but tell me about it. Yeah, mind you, first child always closest to... Well, I could say I was close to my father, but... yeah. Up now, giggle. Ha ha. Girls are hard. I think parenting in general is, I think it depends on your attitude going into it. That's okay. Look, they really do feel very nostalgic of you at the moment, Marie. They're a bit emotional. It's quite funny because even your twin is coming up similar to the last week of the month. Oh, it's, you know, from pretty much Christmas through to New Year's, it's very emotional with divine masculines. I felt like crying in their read. Good old channeling sucks. Okay, giggle. Nah. You know what's going to happen. You're going to get a phone call. Conversation over. I can go now. Giggles is over. You know I'm your lucky charm. I don't know. Maybe you should call me your unlucky charm. What's happening for this weekend? I'm going to pick a card for the 9th. My son was so easy and my daughter was hard. Was she your first child, Elizabeth? First children are always bloody hard. Okay, well, the 9th, you're in Queen of Swords, okay, with Mr. Twin Flame. They're single. I'm telling you, they're single. Moving of house. I'm not so happy with the job at the moment. Maybe changes to do with that. You know why? Well, could you imagine if we played these videos back? Oh, no. Okay, this person, your twin really wraps me off, right? Muses me thoroughly. This person, I don't feel is with anyone. This person's got PTSD. This person does think about you, but it's also like you're testing them. This came up last week, Giggle. Like, you're going to look at it like, test me. I got you. And I don't mean that physically. Okay, it's Mars. Let's be human here. Okay. You know that what's coming is going to cause discord in life, but I feel this is just point blank zero with people. You know, it's like not liking people. Sun was first. Okay, Okay, you're thinking, look, it is going to shift, but you're like the last statement you had of the status and, you know, where the connection was and all the rest of it. You're like, you weren't happy with that. Or you are, but you're not. Do you get what I'm saying? And you're like, okay, then let's just stay the way we are. Let's just stay away from each other. You're hoping this person has learned their lesson. This person is going through maybe a sale of a home, a transition of a home. They're looking at their job as well. They have been thinking quite a bit. Do they have quite a lot on their schedule? I think they do. I think they're quite tight. I think they think about you every day. But I think they'd be ignorant to think that you've changed your mind because you still stand firm on what you need. Okay, sometimes we can have us feminines going back to a twin saying the same thing, and it's like, you know, and we always have lessons when we're dealing with people in energy work. We always have lessons, and so when you're getting stuck and you're having a repeating pattern, it's always the message. It's like, okay, what is the lesson in this? What am I supposed to be seeing? And I think if your divine masculine is coming back offering the same resume, you're kind of looking at them, I wouldn't do that. I just wouldn't do that with me because I haven't actually changed my mind. I haven't. And now I'm going to up the ante. Now I'm going to, you know, maybe I made the statement. The next time maybe I didn't respond. The third time is I'm putting the barricade gates up. So I feel it's like inevitably this is going to be understood. Inevitably, right? Is the fair that you are going to go and play? Yeah. The candy shop. It's like, okay, I'm free, I'm single. I don't know if you are, I don't know if you're not, but, you know, I look after my energy. You're down for commitment, but you want that person to be single. He knows you want to talk about it. Okay, so he knows you want to talk about the skeletons in the closet. But not unless you probably wouldn't if the movement was there. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like saying the connection's here. We're together. You're kind of looking and going, then maybe we need to talk. Is there something I don't know? Is there something I don't know in this situation? Because if you want to be in a relationship, apparently we're in a relationship, and I'm looking and I don't hear from you. And then I hear from you, and it's like, hey, we're back like we were in the summer of 69. And then we're going back to hermit mode. No, we're not in a connection. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is you going through a spiritual test that you are leading by example, stating your case and accepting what your needs are, and not going back into an old pattern of saying, well, you know, and it could be that you say, hey, maybe that is enough, and that's fine too. But I feel you're like testing that wound, because the wound is, well, if I don't give you everything I used to give you, I'll be rejected. You're testing the rejection energy, but it's not you're testing it, Giggle, you're healing it. So it never defines you again. And you can say, look, I do love you. I do. But I love me as well. And by loving me means I can't muck around. I ain't mucking around. All right. I would like, I'm either in a connection or I'm single. Yeah. No, come and eat the entree and eat dinner next week. No. Okay? So, do I think you're going to have communication? Yes, but just go into it gradually. Yeah, I do feel you're going to be pleasantly surprised. I do feel you're worried that he's going to come back with the same BS. And you are already prepared for that. So, you're all good. Oh, who do we have? Julie. Do we have Julie in the house? I don't. I just know. Yeah. You're like, what? What? Thanks, Giggle. Look at this woman go. Getting a reading. Already written the next chart list down. She's ahead of me. I'm getting cross-eyed. Can you tell I need glasses? I think I need glasses after all these years. It's the bright light and the interrogation room. If you could only see my camera, I've got the big... Right, I do have a remote control somewhere where I can turn the light off. Okay, Julie. Yeah, I feel like I'm in an interrogation room. It's giving me crock's eye. Julie, are we here, love? What's coming up for Julie? First thing I can say, Julie, is there's deep thought here. What's the deep thought about? Do you have two roads here? Why do I have a feeling you have two roads? Are there two people? Are you in a karmic relationship? Are you thinking about moving forward? What is this? There's something here going on. Are you in a pickle, my love? What on earth is going on here? I hope she's here. Otherwise, I'm just going to read the cards. I need to wash my hair today. My hair's messy. She. Let me see. Hi, Yildiz. I would love to know what's happening with DM and will he return? Also, when he returns, if it will be reunion. Usually, Dal, in the reunion stage, you will get to a point. Look, don't friend zone people. That's number one. If you were like, we can just be friends, I would probably not do that. I would probably go, look, I'm just going to be really open with you. I look at this more as a relationship. You've got friends. I've got friends. Let's just be perfectly honest. That's where I stand. That's what I would do. There does appear to be that you do have two roads, okay? There is a road where you could be meditating upon, do I move forward or do I end up being with my twin? Now, could it be that there is a karmic relationship? Are you entertaining another person right now? That's the comment. I've been saying question marks all month. It's really interesting. I think we have a lot of questions. How you doing anyway, Jill? Been looking after yourself, sweet. I feel you're busy. I feel you're wanting to not make the wrong move. Do you get what I'm saying? So I do see there has been a lot on this journey that you've actually learned. I feel spiritually you have. In the old days, maybe you would have been pushing the situation. Now you're kind of taking your time. You want to do it correctly. I don't know why I'm getting the notion text message, and this could be that you've been thinking about maybe that you will be getting a text message or a phone call. I do see the person close, so it could be that something is shifting within the dynamic. I do see a connection here, and I do see that it will be moving, but there's something to do with a change in dynamic. Now, if I've got it up on the screen, are you in a karmic relationship right now, Jill? The reason I'm saying that is because there's a message in here relating to a circumstance happening. Now, is there somebody that is interested in you separate to twin right now? Or are you currently in a karmic relationship? How many more super chats do we have? Get your last ones in now because I have bookings. So I may be able to take one or two more max. Okay, because what they're saying is, are you either healing? Well, it's got two roads here. Now, this can be spiritually, you are psychologically coming to terms with the way your twin flame path was before, and you're worried that it's not maybe going to go in that direction now. It is showing there is a partnership coming. it is showing that the opportunity around this connection is going to be quite mutual. So I don't get a negative feeling with it. Spiritually, you can feel a little bit worried, but here where it stands, I mean, who you were yesterday to who you guys are today, you're looking at it and going, would I go back into that? Would I, am I ready for that? Is it going to be the same crap? I would tune in more to the fact that you do have feelings for the person and accept that. But it is showing it to be very positive. There could be a karmic situation that they're getting out of. That karmic situation doesn't have to be a physical person. It could be a memory. It could be something that was preventing them from being open to a relationship. And I do think maybe that is why I was seeing karmic dynamics on both sides, is because you were either healing from what happened previously or you're directly healing from a previous connection. Does that make sense? And so you're more cautious about how you go into connections now. Does that make sense, love? Why am I saying a child? Is there a child in this? Yeah, it's quite funny. It's almost like a sentence coming through. It's almost like as you go in, have you ever noticed it's like, I just get my life together, I go back in my twin flame path, and then it all falls down? It teaches us, I'm not saying you're in a karmic relationship. This is how it works in the twin flame path. When you are in separation and you're not in a connection and your twin is in a karmic relationship, generally you are working over spiritually the energy of the past. So we do this review. So it's joint energy, but one's happening in the 3D and one's not. There's definitely changes in locations. There's things in their life that are being resolved. But that was the reason why the blockage was there. All right. Do I feel you're going to have opportunities? Yes, I do. I think there are going to be 2 roads. They're making reference to 2 future roads coming and 2 opportunities. But in injustice, it's either that this is a brand new, it's going to be gradual, it's going to move slow, but it definitely is there. Sometimes we can go back into that and pick up where we left off, but the key to it is going in like it's a new energy, but you do know the person. You have giggle, help me. I'm not meaning that you're in a coupledom. I'm giving you an example of how the twin flame path mirror works. What your cards are showing at the moment is there was healing relating to the past. Going into it, there is an opportunity here that there is a relationship coming. Now, I do think this is a path with twin and it is a path with another individual, and you're going to have a choice. But it could merely be that there is a change, but it's going gradual. Okay, do you get what I'm saying? It's progressing and it's going to move, but you can't rush it. And I think both of you are not going to want to rush it, but it could eventuate in marriage. That's what I'm saying here. They're making reference to a child, either that you guys will have a child or there is a kid, be it it's on your side or their side, or it's just a very slow beginning. Do you get what I'm saying? It's happening and it's a small seed. It maybe starts with a conversation that moves forward. Okay? But as to the healing, they're definitely showing me during the separation, either one was in a karmic relationship, one wasn't, but one psychologically was healing the past. That's the reason why. I hope that makes sense. Okay, who do we have next? Research Clue, how you doing? Yes, because sometimes we say to ourselves, well, why are they in a karmic relationship if I'm not? Because the empath is clearing previous karmic relationships from our heart chakra and from our third eye. You know, we've got trauma relating to it. So because we're mulling through, have you ever noticed it's a bit like you'll go out and you have back off written on your head? It's because we're healing. And then once we've healed it and we're nonchalant and we're not really wanting a relationship, the universe will tell you when you're ready, because all these people are going to be swarming to you like they're blowflies. And you'll be like, what's happened? Because you've gone into detachment. Yeah. Well, the children-related dynamic and the previous connection and the wounds you had associated to that during your separation were there for that reason. They were there to force you to heal that dynamic so that you can move forward. But I do see that I do feel your twin was in a previous relationship. My daughter's calling again. Message. I will call you back. You're sick with the flu. You got Pisces on your chart, or is it? Let me think back. Virgo? I'm telling you, this ascension's been BS. Okay, I better chop along because this child. You're mean. I'm working every Friday, you fool. Friggin' children. Children are a blessing, Eagle. I'm telling you, her child and my child, they're twins. They're twin sisters. When they want us, they will hammer dial us. Lord. Sick with the flu. Research for any Virgo? Virgo or Gem? I am Virgo. I'm trying to remember now. Or was it Pisces? I'm bad. It's been a while. Yeah. Let's see what's coming up for you. Yeah, you're recovering. You're going to get better, okay? Things are going to get better. Are you tired of being in hermit mode? Okay, has this made you feel, I knew it, look, Capricorn, you've got to look after your energy, be careful of your food and your PPE. Mars in Gemini means, and Chiron in Aries retrograde. Gemini, Virgo, look after your wellness. Aries, Libra, look after your wellness. Capricorn, Cancer, look after your wellness. Why? Because of the transits. Wash your hands. Check the use by dates. Once Chiron in Aries goes direct, it can get a little bit better, but up until then, we've got to look after our PPE, especially with Mercury retrograde. Tummy bugs, food poisoning can happen with Capricorn. Venus and Capricorn, check your bloody use by dates. Okay, so what do we have coming up with you? Are you feeling as though, how can I explain it, that somebody's lying to you? Or have you gone down the rabbit hole research, Chloe, because you have been in hermit mode too long and you're like, I'm being delusional? You know, when we get the Silk song when we're sick, we're like, what about? I call it the Bridget Jones's effect. Look at this. See, it's like, yeah, because it's almost like there could be a little bit of depression coming through. But it's like, you know, because you're snorting your nose and like, it always happens to me. You're like, why do I bother? Why am I bothering? Why have I put up with this? There could be this reality that you're moving through that can be a bit of a Debbie Downer. And I love Deb, so Deb, please don't get angry at me. I love Deb does reads. But I actually, in honor of her, stopped using that term for so long because she's such a happy person. She reminds me of Dawn. And Char on YouTube here. They're so happy. They're addictive. I'd love to hang out with them just for a good laugh. I probably smile too much. I'd need Botox to straighten my face out. Okay, so that, look, you feel run down. You're like Christmas swap. You know, you're sort of thinking, okay, if this was the deal, this person's probably going to turn up. Right? There's something going on, I do feel, with your love interest there. Okay, I do think something's happening. They might be sweeping something under the carpet, but I think it's going to come out. It's just because you're sick, doll. I'm getting your throat shut. Crap. It's because you're sick, okay? Don't be telling yourself, if you want to have a good cry, just go and get bloody Bridget Jones's Diary, right? You can picture the underwear, you can be crying, you can eat those chockies on the couch, and you can do your blubbering, let it all out, and then give yourself a smack and go, right, now we're moving forward, because your vibration here is all up in the, yeah, it really is, every card. You're going to get over it, okay? You're going to move forward. You've been doing great. You've been doing a lot of work. Spiritually, you're going to get your victory. You're not feeling it right now. Could you get a bit angry? Probably. Don't say anything you're going to regret. Although we're moving away from the full moon. Was it a full moon? The moon in Gemini, okay? We could be a little bit like fire starters. Like, don't do that. Not necessary. Okay, there is movement. Don't enable. Don't. You won't need to. You won't need to. Take a holiday. Universe is putting you in the naughty corner at the moment. You weren't prepared. You were doing really good. Now you're kind of run down and you're like, I'm not liking this. You're not going to put up with lies. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And we're supposed to recover during this time. It's recovery. So look after yourself. This person's not going anywhere. What I mean is, if anything, yes, they may move towards you more. You won't enable us more, which is good. That's good. So it's kind of like created a reality for you to handle the dynamic. Do I think there's communication? Very possibly. Okay, I'm just saying. So, take some photos, send them through to me. I want to see the boogie, I want to see the crying, I want to see the hairbrush, the chocolates on the couch. And then I want to see you after photo. And you'll be like, different person. Ben, let's go down the rabbit hole. But I do feel love interest is now. You will not put up with lies, I'm telling you, because your tolerance, your threshold is less, and it's so that you're just transparent. You get what I'm saying? You're like, I don't have time for this. Last but not least, Ben is in the house. I think he's in the house. Are you with your kids, Ben? When's your bug due? Okay, let's get these done. And then I've got 20 minutes and I've got clients. Clear the space. Like I said, if you need a booking, I'm urgently telling you, this is your last call. It is filling up fast. And I am going on a holiday by the 23rd. I'm away. Content's there. I'm not. Might pop into the members and Discord and go, you okay? Cool. I'm out. What you got here? Oh, you got a lot of ideas, man. Okay, you're freaking out. Yildiz. Hi, Ben. The last week feels like completely a total energetic upheaval. It is really. Base chakra unstable. Feel like I'm a deck of cards being, yeah. You're going to, look, any Aries energy can get very tired. You can get run down. You can get unwell. You can burn yourself out because Jupiter's like, we can go do that. And with that one, you're going to kind of get to the point where there's lots and you can see the potentials, but you're like a deer in the woods, where do I start? Now, base chakra can come down to, how do I structure this? How do I realistically do this? Am I, like, what's coming through with your readers? Am I making the right decision? Am I being stupid? What if it all turns pear-shaped? It's like, it's not going to turn pear-shaped. Map it. You could be feeling guilty, okay? You need to be very direct with how you structure this. I feel like I'm getting conversations happening with spirit, but it's damned on energy. Theoretically, if you're getting downloads, right? Because you're purging the ego, this is how a download can go. It's giving you the confidence and a vision. It can be a physical vision. Now, some people, and I'm going to do a lot of videos to do psychic energy and how to use it, how each one can look, and you can have them all. I'm just going to say, when I went down the rabbit hole and through my ascension process, I have developed my gift due to the fact if I didn't, I would have the dead turning up in my bedroom, basically trying to have a chat with me. And at the age of around 6, it was there, easy. And so those individuals coming into the room, and it was like telepathic. So I would visually see the whole person standing in front of me, but they would telepathically communicate with me. And it was almost like it was mute, but I could read their mind, even though they were dead. That for a child is very scary. So especially it's very taboo. You know, my age bracket, even talking about being a psychic, it was like, it's not real. It's all in your head. And it changes, it evolves. So I had to learn how to use it to protect myself. So how do I get rid of these things turning up in my bedroom to prevent it because I want to be left alone? It did get to a point that I had to address their needs. If I didn't, they wouldn't piss off. And then it develops and it moves. But there's so many different types. There's sensory, there's audio, there's astro traveling. So when it comes in, the one way to use it is your guides don't care if you look stupid. So if your guides come in and you're giving a reading to a person and they say pineapple, you don't have to know why pineapple was said. You just need to say it. And to you, you're like in your ego, well, that's stupid. Why would I do that? You would need to then say, use me as a guinea pig, Ben. Read me. Ben's like, what? You can bounce around the room. You could literally read somebody, right? And how you would do it, this hair is really pissing me off. I'll be quick and snappy. So one way you can try it is you can try looking at a person's aura. And you can maybe read the energy of, it could be somebody in the house. It could be you're reading the energy and you're seeing an overarching energy. Now, could it come down to a thumbnail? Yes. Could it come down to a person's name? Yes. Could it come down to reading a photo? One great way to actually train yourself is actually looking at one particular zodiac sign, and that can be of, say, a Cancerian. And you can look at famous people that are Cancerians. And I want you to look at 3 different photos. And I want you to look at their face and I want you to read their face. And I want you to sit back and write what you see, what you feel, and the overall arching energy. And you're going to find that they will come to play. They will come to pass. But you will become very familiar with being able to go, I read people. I could read remotely. I can read through a voice, a name, now a zodiac. I can channel that energy and embody it. The embodying part I don't really like. So when your ego gets involved, your ego's trying to be a control freak because your ego don't care about what is shown. Example, I could give you a reading and then I gave a reading to a lovely friend years ago. And so they felt in order to manifest that, they would have to go out and buy the clothing that I directly had the channeling of them in with their twin. And it was like, you don't need to. This will happen to be where you will be, what you will be, what you'll be doing. I remember saying to Giggle a few months ago, I think it was about 6-7 months ago, didn't I give you a reading and I said to you, you're going to be in the bath. I can hear water. There is water dripping through the tap onto your toe. You're going to turn to the left and you're going to get a message or a phone call. And it's going to be your twin. And sure enough, exactly the way it was said, it did happen. It's because that time, everyone is like, when will this happen? Usually when a channeled message comes through, it's going to be, it doesn't give a shit about time. It's like, because it's a time stamp. It's almost like getting a map. And it's like, right, I can't use that. Where's the piece of paper? My daughter's going to kill me. Mother told everyone else apart from you. So they're like, this here, when this happens, so when this happens, when you see this image that I'm describing to you, it's go. There's movement. So you'll generally know. And in a channeled message, if we have too much attachment to it, we're blocking our blessings. We're blocking. It doesn't mean it's going away. So sometimes we can get dates. Sometimes we can actually say soon, which means really close. We can say overall, which means it's going to be. That's the end goal. Now, do you get what I'm saying? My higher spirit feels like bing, bing, bing. You need to slow it down, and you need to actually get to a space where you control how much you allow in. So if you're tired, Ben, you need to tell spirit, okay, we're closing down now. And you need to tune out of it, and you need to come back to this space. So you're controlling. It's like a filter, right? You're allowing this chi energy to come in. It's permission-based. It's crown chakra and it's third eye. And it's coming like a bat out of hell because it's going to affect your sleeping. But you need to, as mediums, we need to know how to close it down. And that's why in the twin flame path, when we're getting energy from people, because empaths are like sponges, you suck it all in and you get sick. You have to know when to close it down. You've got to know when to drink fluid. If you need to get it out of your head and it doesn't make sense, don't keep mulling over it. Write it down on a piece of paper, put it somewhere safe, walk away. Come back to it later, like a painting, and observe it. Your guides and you are forming a new relationship. So instantly it's not going to make sense to you. It's going to sound like a bunch of shit, right? Then you're going to get how they communicate with you, how they work with you, so that you can decipher what that means. So sometimes, in my early stages of working with channeling, I could see things psychically, but I wouldn't tell anyone. So it didn't really matter to me. But when I was telling people, sometimes because I was protective of myself, I was like, they're going to judge me. I'm going to be pushed upon. I'm going to be attacked if something doesn't go that way. And I was like, well, that's not my problem. I can get you ask me a question. You've now allowed me to enter your energy. As you ask me, I will channel the energy, and there can sometimes be a pushback. So how my guides work is similar to previously. We had the reading and my guides nagged me. They kept pushing the point. So I remained patient with trying to articulate it with Julie, because my guide's message was the reason why the blockage and the delay is because there was two energies. Now, two energies, it could be both parties were healing over previous relationships. But really, when they keep pushing you down to a similar thing, Ben, it's because they want you to relook at that. Okay? Does that make sense? So what are the downloads, Ben? It's trying to bulldoze your life. You could feel, yeah, you've got to create the healthy boundaries. So I would use tourmaline and onyx. Remove any amethyst because it's coming in too quickly. It's probably because Jupiter's in Pisces and Neptune's in Pisces. It is going to shift, but any Aries placements also, it's overwhelmed because there's a lot coming through, right? There's a lot coming through. You need to learn how to protect yourself, and it can be certain zones are no thinking zones, right? Because once you tune into a situation, you've opened the portal. And when you're tired, you're actually open to psychic attacks. So we need to know how to do it, where to do it. Usually when it's early in the stage, you've got to use a lot of crystals. You've got to use a lot of clearing tools. When you become stronger at that mediumship energy, you won't need any of it, but you will need to detox. And that can be drinking, taking a break, listening to your body. But you need to create that boundary so that your aura, I would do an aura upgrade. You can find meditation on YouTube. You can do an aura upgrade, and you can do an earthing. Of course you will. And I would have sweet tea, and you can do ginger, sweet tea, and lots of fluid, but just things that are light, chamomile, get that calmness down, reduce the stress levels, and do breathing exercises. But if you can do an aura upgrade, what you need to picture is that you're closing your eyes. You do the breathing with me now, then. We're going to do the exercise. You're going to breathe, and you're extending. You're picturing white light around you, and that is your boundary. Do not come near me. And you're picturing the boundary. Back off, bitches. And that is the hand, right? Now, when people come towards you and they got BS, you go, look, I just need 5. And if they keep going, no, I said, I just need 5. That can be with your kids, your family. If you're needing to take that downtime, take your shoes off. You are going to get grounded. Go get a headset. They're the best investment out for psychics and for ascension. And get some earth hurts. And then I want you to look at aura meditation, aura repair meditation. Use tourmaline to protect you. Don't use amethyst for a bit, and wash it with salt. Okay, find a little meditation zone. Do that for a little bit. Get the grounding and clear the third eye. You can do a third eye clearing as well. Okay, and you know where I am if you need me. Come through. Book a coaching session, mister. I love you all. I will be back during the week. But just journal down what it is, but take a break. And, you know, when it comes in, Ben, just say no later. Breathe in, breathe out. And you can come to me later, guys. Close for shop, okay? Close for shop, not doing this now. Anyone who wants a reading, okay, I'm going to put a post up. I'm going to do a super chat day. Tell me what day you want, and I will go to that. If any of you have paid for a super chat and it was under the limit, you can either try and get it back from YouTube, or you can give it as a donation. Or if you want, we can write it down, email me on my website, providing it's still there, and we can do a mini one in the next session, okay? I will come back and I will see you guys soon. Jump on and grab your bookings where you can, because it is really filling up fast. I'll give you a heads up. What sort of grandparent I'm going to be? A terrible one, probably.